Howdy folks, and welcome to another Taste of Gameplay video for the Hood, British Tier 7 Premium Battleship. As always, these videos are designed to give you a sample of the gameplay of the ship, not to be an exhaustive analysis. I recommend the Wargaming Wiki or other content creators. So the Hood is an interesting mid-tier battleship precisely because it's not very interesting. There's nothing particularly unusual or outstanding about it. It's a solid battleship. It's got a waterline citadel. It will take damage if you angle it poorly or you get overmatched. It's only 26 millimeters on the front and stern. It's got 8 381 guns with reasonable dispersion. So it's big enough to overmatch some things, but it certainly isn't devastating. I suppose the only interesting thing about it really is it has a defensive fire, which we are going to use in this game. This is going to be a pretty good game for me. I'm going to play well in this one because I'm going to use the Hood like a flanking battleship. I'm going to recognize that this particular flank is falling apart, and then I'm going to successfully move to a different flank. And we're going to get pretty good damage numbers. And spoiler alert, we're actually going to pull this one out. But yeah, I mean, the Hood is a really interesting ship to play in World of Warships because, for one thing, it could have existed right at the very beginning of the game. And also, it really does teach you how to play mid-tier battleship well. Like, you're tanky, but you have to be careful. Your guns are strong, but the reload is long. You have to pick your spots. I would really love, for example, to shoot at this destroyer, but I just know he's bow in and I'm just not going to do that much damage to him. So I really don't have much choice here. Our destroyer on this flank unfortunately took a torpedo. This game's going to start off a little rough. We are going to win the other flank, but we're going to lose this one, and I really just have to reposition here. There's a submarine roughly in our area. He's not going to give us too much trouble, but yeah, we definitely want to wear down that Mackinson. It's tempting to shoot at that Nicholas, but my thought at the moment is that my teammates are going to handle him. Turns out they don't, but eventually later they do. But this Mackinson, we can work on this guy. One of the key things about WoW's really any multiplayer online game is you need to remove low health targets. You can't let them sit around. But yeah, the Hood is a good ship. It's just solid. It doesn't do anything particularly amazingly well, but it also doesn't do anything badly. Concealment is fine for this tier. The guns are solid, maybe even above average. Not stellar or amazing, but you know, the dispersion trolls you sometimes, like it did just there. But yeah, it really struggles if it gets up tiered, but in this game we are top tier, so yeah, the DFAA is definitely a plus. I know people make fun of AA in the game as being ineffective, but while there is some truth to that, it's interesting how much you can do to stave off planes. We're going to end up shooting down, I think, 14 planes in this game, which is pretty impactful. I mean, I know, having played CVs for a while, that it does make a difference. Memes and jokes aside, you can, if not deplane, then at least harm a CV's ability. This Pensacola is going to make a mistake. He's just going to park here on this island, thinking that he's safe, but I believe I overmatch him, and he's just making himself a sitting duck. Maybe in a game without a carrier he might have been able to get away with that, but the carrier is going to keep him spotted, and it's just not going to go well for him. Spoiler alert. Yeah, the Hood, I'm not sure if it's worth picking up if you have to pay for it, if you somehow get it from a crate or other avenue where you're not paying real money, then, you know, I think it's a really interesting and good ship. Or if you just really want the historical ship, as it is a real ship, of course. The Hood, famous ship. It really looked like we were losing that game at the beginning, didn't it? And even now, it's definitely at best a toss-up. We do have 100 more points, but they have 2 caps. And it's not clear. Their ships have a lot more health than ours do. We have 1 more ship. Well, actually, now it's even. Yeah, so, I mean, it's really not clear. But, yeah, I mean, so Citadel, that Pensacola, he's just too stationary. And shooting over 2 islands like that. And this Gade, I'm not really sure what his plan was. He's way too close to me. He should not let himself get spotted like this. I guess he must think there's not much I can do, but that's not true. Battleships, when they get a beat on you, they can do damage. And the Hood's secondaries are terrible, but they're still gonna eventually. I mean, if you hover like this and just sit in range of a battleship secondaries, eventually he's gonna hit you. We're gonna get a little help too. It's important that we run away because obviously torpedoes are much less effective on a target that's running away. This is where the DFAA is actually pretty helpful because the carrier could easily set up cross drops on us because we pretty much have to run away from this TD, but because we have the DFAA. So because I know he doesn't have torps right now, I'm going to turn into him so I can get all my guns on him. And I'm going to land a pretty good salvo here. I mean, it's such short range. Yeah, so 4 overpens. Yes, they're just overpens, but against a destroyer, I mean, that's actually quite a lot of damage. And even these crap secondaries are occasionally landing a hit. It's just, I don't remember if we end up sinking him or not. I guess not. No, we just get an assist rather. Positioning is so key in WoW. So if I had stayed over on that flank, I'd be in deep trouble. Conversely, there's a cruiser on the enemy team. He's after our CV, but our CV's gonna lead him on a little merry goose chase, and I believe we'll eventually get that carrier, but I mean, it's just the price is way too high. He's taken himself completely out of the battle, and it's gonna take him way too long to sink the Independence. His team could really use him over here. And then all of a sudden, the game is completely swung. And at this point, it's a fairly clear win for us. Not sure what this Rook's plan is, but we're going to get a nice beat on him. We were spotted the whole time, so I'm not sure what exactly he was thinking there. But all the better for us. So we're up to 80k from a fairly mediocre to bad start. We've really elevated this game. Kind of hoping this guy would turn out, but he's a little too smart. He was one of the better players on their team, I think. It's just sunk our Minakaze. Not really quite sure how that happened. But yeah, down goes the Rook. He lost way too many hit points there. Way too much health. And yeah, we're just going to sail into the center of the map and claim a little extra damage. But the game is basically won at this point. We still have our sub. We still have our CV. The CV is complaining, but people sometimes get the red mist, I call it, about CVs. They really just pursue them at all costs, and that's not usually a great strategy. And DFAA is going to come in handy here. I think we're going to shoot down another handful of planes. We won't keep him from dropping, but I think we're going to massively blunt his drop. There's one plane. Maybe not. Maybe this isn't the drop where we shoot down a bunch of planes. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, I mean, we've shot down 9, 10, 11, 12 planes already. At this point, I'm honestly thinking about just ramming this Archangelsk. His team needs the ships more than we do, and even though I'm on pretty high health, he is too. And there's really no shame But at some point, he's going to get cocky. He's going to take some damage from these sub-torpedoes. And he's fired into my angled ship, and he hit my belt. That didn't help him. So I've decided I'm not going to let him ram at this point. And we're going to do a little battleship dance. He's not going to be able to keep his guns trained on me. I won't be able to get all my guns on him either. But I am going to land a couple of solid hits, and I think I'm going to get a Citadel on him, if I remember correctly. Oh, here we go. Yeah, right through the bow. 4 full pens. Of course, he's landed 3 fires on me. It's no good. The fires are going to take a long time to burn down, and I have a lot of health. And my turrets are coming around, the ones that didn't fire before. And yeah, there we go. 123k. Pretty solid. So the Hood is actually a really fun ship. If you love battleships and you like the purity of a game without a lot of gimmicks, there's nothing too special about the Hood. It doesn't go particularly fast, but it's not super slow. The armor's not great, but it's acceptable for the tier if you angle correctly and you don't get overmatched. This Königsberg, this is really annoying. I try not to do this kind of thing. There's no saving your star, buddy. He's going to lead us on a merry goose chase for a good solid 2 more minutes. Which I guess gives me time to talk about this Taste of Gameplay series. In case you didn't know, I'm trying to play every single ship, in the entire game. I think I have something around 500 of them, so it'll be a journey. I'm choosing them completely at random and just doing one game. Come hell or high water, whatever happens in that game is whatever happens in that game. If the game is, for some reason, really terrible, or there's some kind of technical problem, then of course I won't show a really, really awful game. But pretty much I'm just showing whatever happens, even if I play poorly or it's just not terribly interesting. But yeah, this was a good game. I wouldn't say I'm really a battleship main. If anything, I'm probably a cruiser main, but I can see why people like battleships. You can have a lot of battle impact, and it's definitely a high skill aspect to the game if you play it right. Yeah, I will say the Hood it's an okay range, but it's not amazing. You're not a sniper. You're a mid-range battleship. I wouldn't say you're a brawler either. It's really just a kind of all-around middle-of-the-road battleship, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's an interesting ship. Come on, Königsberg. Some of us want to get on to the next game. You're headed back to port, no matter how you slice it. I think we're actually going to point out. Come on, I'm rooting for the carrier. Is he going to get him? Oh, missed drop. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't do this. I would have turned around and just come into battle. It just feels like, yeah, I mean, I get it. You want to pad your stats. You want to get a little more damage. Oh, 1 torp. Okay. Yeah, so that's the Hood, British Tier 7 premium battleship. Pretty good ship. Pretty good ship. Very good all-around mid-range flanking battleship. Yeah, and so that was a 1. I believe we're top tier. Oh, actually, right. No, yeah, we weren't top. Yeah, I remember this now. That Scharnhorst played a hell of a game. So, yeah, until next time. Thanks, everybody.